into the longer game and beat Dark there.
Our game is now loading up. Map number 1 will be on Thunderbird. Trap versus Dark, both players in the very first GSL Codex Finals. By the end of tonight, one will be a champion. Let's go.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Gosu Crew. Dark.
Whoa.
Dark has a lot of fans here tonight.
Yeah, bigger cheer in the audience for Dark. Both got a cheer, but that was crazy. And by the way, before we go too in-depth here, real quick thing. JYP, one of our Korean casters, has now joined the Korean military. All able-bodied Korean men have to do, I believe it's about 18 months of military service. And so he's not here to cast our finals, but we have a new player casting the finals. Artosis, do you want to say who it is?
It is none other than TY, one of the
right.
greatest Terrans in the world, one of the 4 horsemen of Terran, making his debut here at the GSL Codex Finals.
Yes. Yeah, so very exciting to have TY here commentating in this GSL Finals. This is very cool stuff. Now, going into this game here, you were talking earlier on, Artosis, about the possibility that Trap may actually play a fairly passive game, that he might go for Stargate, not go for timing attacks. That would be very interesting if we were to see something like that, at least for the start of this game. We already see him going for a pylon block to try to control where the third hatchery would go. And we're waiting for that cybernetics core to finish so we can identify what tech route this is going to be.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you think about the way that Dark is playing overall to counteract all of these very, very powerful Immortal-based builds, Dark has been playing very aggressive games. He's getting in there. He's mixing up. Whether it's a forward hatchery, you know, whether it's a Nidus play, some sort of Ling run-in.
Oh my God, that's like one of the coolest signs that's ever been made.
I want to steal that.
Well,
I like that there are bot circles there.
Yeah.
But, you know, the great way to counteract that type of cheeky play is Stargate, not Robo. Robo is fantastic. It has been fantastic. But when you're playing against someone like Dark, if you bring it back into the Stargate, if you play reactive games, then suddenly the things that Dark is prepping for, destroying Robo openings, is going to be messed up for him, rather than him messing up you. And we see Game 1, that, my friend, is a Stargate.
that third hatchery has finally been planted down. We have the Adept trying to shade in to get an idea of what's going on, get a read, because, of course, it is a guessing game as well for Trap here, it's depending on how good his scouting is going to be as to what exactly Dark's going to be doing this game. Now we have that Phoenix nearly finishing. That'll be his initial scout. We'll see if he ends up pulling up any more of those. But instead it is going to be an Oracle coming out next here. The Phoenix here now to get rid of that initial Overlord to make the map a dark and ambiguous place. But I think this Overlord will at least be able to spot the animation of the Oracle there. I don't know what the story was with that probe.
He was going in for a scout, I guess.
Yeah, just kind of an odd timing as the Queens are pushing Grape out, but okay.
Not exactly sure, but that's okay. A couple of Adepts just kind of sitting there waiting. And those rich geysers. But yeah, this is already, you know, looking different from a lot of the PVZs that we have been seeing lately. So he's going to be able to fly in here, get some scouting done. The Oracles don't generally do much damage, but he hasn't overbuilt him, going directly into his tech from here. We'll see if he goes for the standard Archon drop, which would, you know, be, again, reverting to that older type of metagame. Or does he have something special planned on the back of the Stargate opener?
There is this interesting thing within the meta of StarCraft that when builds become too trendy, they tend to get phased out, but a lot of times if they've been phased out for long enough, reintroducing them, especially in important moments when there's been a lot of prep by the other player, sometimes that's the best moment to try to bring those out. Oh my God, he barely gets away with that Phoenix. It's really important as you go for Stargate openings to not lose any of the Stargate units because they can always be utilized to scout, or in this case, we're seeing now harass later on in the game. And this one is not going to get out. Oh!
Yeah, ends up getting the Oracle, so good kill there. But hey, 5 drones, not so bad. Does look like we're going to have an Archon drop coming up here from Trap. So very solid stuff. very standard stuff. The Roach Horn coming up from Dark. And I mean, this, you know, you look at this game and it looks like a couple of slightly more dated builds, but that means that none of the early shenanigans that we've been seeing from Dark are going to go ahead and kill Trap in any way.
And one thing about Trap's build in general is this is among the builds with the most guaranteed damage output with the lowest risk, as long as you can control the Warp Prism correctly. I mean, in Archon, if you've heard our much older cast, this was talked about a lot, but this is being brought back in here. You know, in Archon's basically entirely shields. And as long as you don't lose the Archons, they are going to kill Zerglings, Creep Tumors, anything else they can find. And usually, again, as long as you don't lose the Warp Prism, you're going to be in good shape, and from there you can choose, do you want to try to push in later or go back and try to defend? And we're seeing this happen right now.
Yeah, and don't expect too much damage from this Archon drop, but it kind of keeps Zerg busy. It forces some of these Roaches out, which then Trap can go ahead and counter by making Charge Lots and Immortals and getting some Sentries out and all that good stuff.
And there's always been some weird builds involved in this where you actually do an all-in as this is happening and start to warp in and attack it. And that's not going to be the case this time around with the Forge and the Nexus coming down. But Dark has to be ready for everything, which is why we're seeing him scout over here and check and confirm what exactly is going on Trap's side of the map.
Now, very interesting. Aspire gets started here from Dark. This is the type of play that is very interesting from Dark. He does like to do things like mix in Spires in situations that you might not normally see them. And this, I would say, is one, right? It was a Stargate opener. Sure, he lost the Oracle, so there's not that much scouting going on. He's doing a good job of zoning everything out. So this may be able to catch him off guard, but with a Stargate already up and Archons around,
yeah,
as long as he doesn't, like, for instance, lose the Prism immediately to some mutas that pop out, it's this could be risky from Dark.
We've seen this have a lot of success, actually, in the past, is kind of springing Mutatech on them. But Artosis,
oh my God.
Okay, I was going to say, as you mentioned, as long as he doesn't lose that.
Yeah.
But you make it a great point, Artosis. Right now, the tech is there for Trap to respond to. I guess the only thing that would make this more ideal, if this becomes a huge Mutatech, would be if there was cannons or something ready to defend the probes back at home, because sometimes you can have the answers, but you're going to have to produce those units or chase them around with the Archons and the Warp Prism before you can get those Mutalisks out.
Ravager being made right there. Quite a few Roaches sitting kind of in proximity to Trap space.
And we've actually, you know, he might have just got the Spire for looks, Artosis. He's not making anything out of the Spire.
That is interesting.
And that might be just because he knows if Trap scouts this, he's going to maybe react in a different way, and instead it's going to be a Ling Ravager attack as the missile attack is close to finishing.
It's hard to imagine this doing very much damage, to be honest.
I don't know what else to say, because, you know, when normally you see a tech structure made, there's units coming out for that. So let's see how this goes here. Still, more Lings are being produced. It's telegraphing that Dark is committing to this until we see drones or something else. Lings, and there it is, the 8 units coming out here now.
Okay, we'll see what he ends up getting done with that. I mean, if he were to pick off all 3 Archons with this attack, then maybe that's somewhere where the mutas do very well. Does pick one. See if he tries to target them any extra. Don't see that yet.
10, 11 mutas now being produced. Yeah, it would be a cool idea to get those Archons. That would be pretty hard to do up this ramp. It'll really depend. Even targeting the Biles. At the highest level of play, you might be suspicious, saying, are you focusing a little bit too much on my Archons? Why?
Yeah, this attack in general is something that just should not work anyways. Like, it was held rather easily. He lost an Archon, and even that could have been a slight micro mistake. He's seen now with that Observer in the main base of Dark, the muta's being made. So he's making Photon Cannons, he's making Phoenixes, he's throwing down a shield battery as well. Look at that, Stalker's warped in a defensive spot. But Dark doesn't have to do damage to these mutas right away. He's kind of keeping Trap back right now and allowing himself a little bit of time. He's getting that Hydra's Den. Wouldn't be surprised to see him try to get into some lurkers as well at some point. We've seen a little bit of a resurgence of those in Korea as well.
You know, the problem with this mute attack here is it's going to have its time and its place, and then it's going to be obsolete if the game continues on. And, you know, really, when the cannon's finished there, especially on the way this map is shaped, the fact that the main is sort of shielded by the third base and the second base, it's not easy to really do a surprise attack there. And so instead, he's going to send these mutas over here and start to hit the sentries, which is not a bad idea. But with Archons over here, it's immediately chased away. Only 1 sentry kill.
Yeah, it doesn't get that much done. Blink is on the way here for Trap, which is a nice upgrade for him to get in case he needs to start making a bunch of Stalkers. But of course, you don't want to commit heavily into those. Mutas continuing to try to harass, but there's enough Phoenixes out right now that this could backfire.
Okay, Phoenix is coming back. And I'm getting a little bit worried for Dark with this push down here. He's got a lot of Hydras, but you've got to be careful when you have an army that's this big and scary coming towards you.
Yeah, that's a scary army from Trap, no doubt about it. Even though Dark is maxed out, throws down those vials, actually gets a lot of good connections on them.
Yeah, the army just not being microed away from those vials. Still so much here. The Mutas in the back fighting the Archon. Could easily lose this fight, but instead Dark might have too many Hydras and Ravagers here to come forward.
Well, that was a beautiful flank right there. He picked off the Warp Prism with those Mutalisks, really doing their job. And now Trap losing his expensive, important units here.
Love we've got drones still in that fight. He's continuing to chase us back over here. It's not a really comfortable position for Protoss to really try to recall another Immortal going down, keeping the Robotech count overall very, very low now. And in fact, there's going to be another army coming up here to try to sandwich this. Looks like just barely. Oh no, he actually is going to get some of this.
Oh, if he gets that Archon, that is huge as well. Look at how bad this army is from Trap. It looked like he was doing a fantastic job, but here Dark comes with a much stronger army. We don't have any Psy Storms ready or anything.
These are just early game units. It's Stalkers and Zealots. We don't have any Storms blanketing this area yet. As Lakes come in, able to attack the Robo and the Immortal over there. It's really going to be tough for Trap to hold off to this attack now.
Wow, just amazing play here from Dark, doing such a good job, pushing his advantage right now. More Zealots being warped in. We're so close to the space, so far from Dark, so reinforcements are very hard to get over here.
This one Immortal is eventually going to be picked off. A second one is coming out. The Hydra count is beginning to get thinned out. Some Warpins from the north here, as well as Robotech coming out from the left side. Is all that Trap has to try to hold this off. You can see by the production tab, Dark is not slowing down with what he's making here. And I feel like we are just about to see Trap tap out.
Man, I tell you, that is some impressive stuff there from Dark. It seemed like Trap had navigated every part of this game, but losing that Warp Prism in his frontal push, really a great move from Dark, and he takes game number 1.
GG, beautifully done there by Dark. In what was actually one of the wonkier tech-wise games we've had here. Finishes Aspire, attacks into the front with a Ravager Ling. It was actually held pretty impressively by Trap. The Mutas come in there, and even though Trap had wax on, wax off, held everything off, and I thought it wasn't a bad time to push. The flank with the Mutas to hit the Warp Prism, all the things that didn't seem to do anything or matter that much ended up coming together in the end to actually hold off that attack. And once he killed off the Warp Prism, all those Immortals, the Archons, what is it, just Stalkers and Zealots that are going to try to fight the Zerg army and a few Templars with not enough Storms to take on anything?
Well, when he lost with the Prism with the attack, the frontal attack didn't work. Yeah, that was a huge advantage of Dark, but let's talk about how he got there. He went into that Mutalisk tech, which didn't seem like it did a lot, but let's talk about what it did do. A Warp and a 4 Stalkers, the Blink upgrade. He also forced Phoenixes out, right? So we have all these different things happening during the time you'll normally get Psystorm. You'll normally continue to build your ground-pounding army. And it seemed with the initial attack that Trap held so well with the Mutas that didn't seem to do too much, like there was an attack timing there. But it turns out, you know, without the Psystorm, without the increased power of the ground army, it was kind of like a ground army frozen in time. It was a ground army that would have been really good a minute 30 seconds before. And then here we are with this Blink tech, these Stalkers, the Phoenixes, none of this really helping out. So Dark, I feel like Dark really outplayed Trap a bit there at the end.
And I'll tell you what, at the highest level of play, a lot of times that's how you see someone get taken down, is you get them stuck with the wrong unit composition. We're ready to go into game 2. Turbo Cruise 84, Trap vs. Dark Finals continues on.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Gosu Crew. Dark.
So I was starting to talk about this, and we had to jump into the intro for game 2. But yeah, a lot of times it's at the highest level of play. It's not about a timing attack or anything like that. Although this is going to set up for something like that. But a lot of times it's about Can I force them to make these units, and then with that I can make this, and eventually I get them stuck in a position where if I win a fight in a certain way, right, taking out Archons and Immortals, the rest is going to be very easy for me because not all units can be made at the same pace in this game, especially for Protoss. Now this time around, we have an offensive hatchery used to block the location here of the natural expansion. And this is already going to be a little bit annoying here for Trap as he's not going to be able to do his build order exactly as he wanted to until this hatchery's gone.
Now, I would not, oh, look at that. Came from China for our anniversary sport Trap. All right. Congratulations, welcome. Okay, so this...
Now it's gotten really weird.
Yeah, I think that this is a build that Trap will have some practice against because it has been rising in popularity for the last couple months, I want to say. To do offensive hatcheries, to do hatchery blocks, things like that. We saw that Trap, for instance, didn't pull probes. A lot of people just pull probes immediately. He threw down his second gate, though. Chronos out his Zealot. So, definitely seems like he does have a plan here.
Now, a Zealot and an Adept are coming out here. The only problem is it's not so much that these experiences, but this may have not been the exact mapped-out build that he wanted to carry through the entire game. But yeah, certainly it's going to be something he's seen before.
Well, but I got to say, I think that his counter to it so far is very, very good, right? He blocked the hatchery at the natural.
Yeah.
And he's making 2 adepts. Both of these things are really strong against the offensive hatchery because you're going to have much slower speed on your Zerglings, and the adepts have real potential to abuse you.
Oh, that got surrounded. Oh, that's actually pretty bad. That's not even something we normally factor in as happening.
No.
By the way, I think you're 100% right, Artosis. It seems like he's definitely got a pretty decent response with this.
Oh, my God.
Now, a lot of times you would expect the Protoss to scramble to get an expansion up, but instead it seems like what Trap wants to do this game is actually punch back even harder in a way. But already those, the Lings coming out now and beginning to do this damage. It's going to be a nuisance in the main, but yeah, with these Adepts here, Ling speed being so far out, they're much stronger than they would normally be in a standard early game.
Yeah, look, he's wrecking these Zerglings right now. The Queen is the only thing that's really holding these Adepts back. They're just chewing through the Zerglings, going to try to shade out there, doesn't want to lose one.
Oh, yeah, especially after already losing that Zealot early on. Now, there's 3 Roaches and 8 Lings coming in, and this is almost a situation where it's like they're both trying to tech into something so fast that the other one's going to get killed before that player's tech can really kick in. So an Oracle's being made. Doesn't look like there was complete scouting there by the Adepts. He doesn't see and confirm the Roach Warren. So we have 7 Roaches being made, already more on the map. And I don't know, actually, if Dark is going to be stopped here at the entrance of the Protoss' base, even with an Oracle.
Well, I tell you what, it really kind of behooves Trap that he went for such a late Nexus.
Sure.
And look at this, he's warping a couple Stalkers. Like, you look at this set of units he has, if he does not turn on his Oracle, he will hold this pretty easily, I would say. Like, the Oracle should be enough with that many Gateway units to push back these Roaches.
But is he actually going to go back right now? Where are the Roaches on the minimap? Sorry.
Yeah, here it comes, and he is going to turn around.
Okay.
You know that he's very low on drones right now in Trap's position here. And I think, yeah, warping these shield batteries, all he needs to do is hold, and he's got a big advantage.
And, yeah, because of the low count of drones here, I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can do to try to recover economically from, as well as the hatch being disjointed. The Oracle really easily able to target this down, especially with the second Oracle out here. This is great.
Yeah, look at that. He's already killed off 2 Ravagers. He's forcing the Roaches back. No real damage done here. So Trap, so far, holding on very, very well against this offensive hatchery.
We saw a response like this in an earlier game of GSL this season. The idea is to not try to get too desperate to make that Nexus immediately. Instead, you basically make enough units to match whatever they've gotten here. And once you have that matched, the Zerg is in a much more problematic position. 2 hatches. The third base has not even started yet. The other hatch is far away. The counter-attacking potential from Trap could be huge.
Yeah, he's got really mobile units here as well. Look at this. Flies in. Oh, my God. 3 drone kills. That makes a big difference right here with how the drones are.
You could see, actually, the 4th drone that was about to be transferred over there was killed off as well. And from here, it's going to be the Robotech coming up. Trap's not overextending by coming out with his ground army just yet, which isn't going to give Dark any opportunities to try to counterattack into the main or anything of the sort. And I love the fact that he's continued to make Oracles here. Oracles against skimpy numbers of units is always good. They'll always win small skirmishes like that. And so this is a moment where he can just come in here and blast down even more workers. And this is killing more workers than Dark can remake and keep up with. It's now 37 probes to 20 drones.
My God. That is such an advantage for Trap right now. He is looking fantastic. Look at this. A lot of gates being made, a prism as well. It seems like we're going to have just a straight-up gateway push. And you know what? This is very much a reaction to what's happened so far in this game. Generally, just straight gateway pushes don't do very well against Zerg. But, I mean, with the amount of damage he's dealt, you know that the only thing Dark wants to do right now is make drones.
Okay, now we have a small push coming out here. This is going to drive away those Lings that were there for a counterattack. The Zealot Warp in there is to plug the hole in case they decide to come back around here. And it seems as though Trap is just going to continue to push through the blank area on the map here for Dark. In fact, the Lings are going to try to see and make sure there's nothing that's going to come over here and surprise them.
Still trying to kill a few drones off, keeping him busy, making it seem like this is the only thing he's up to. And look at this. If Dark just GG's instantly, I think that's the correct move.
Yeah, he has no idea. This actually went completely undetected across the map.
This is 0% to hold. Look at the amount of units he has right now. Oh my God. Dark trying to get out of here. GG is called.
Great game there. Trap really reacting to Dark's aggressive play. You know, we talked about Dark being an excellent macro player, but he does have some of the scariest timing attacks in Starcraft 2. Trap handled that with ease.
Yes, he really did. And this is the type of play I think that you need to take Dark down in this series. A little bit more reactive than what most Protosses are doing right now. Absorb what Dark is going to throw at you, and then punch back.
Okay, so it's tied up 1-1 right now. Very impressive to see Trap hold that off and basically get the perfect closer. Undetected push goes across the map, blindsiding Dark. He has nothing but drones that he's had to remake from the great Oracle harass, and that means he has nothing to deal with that attack in there.
Just absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So, I mean, so far it looks like it really could be anybody's game here.
Yeah, it's looking pretty close so far. I think that game one was very much more interesting than this one. In this one, it was more like Dark made a series of choices, and Trap also made a series of choices. It's just Traps were better. You know, Dark was trying to pull a fast one. He's like, oh, maybe you made a Nexus right away. Got punished for it.
We got to go to a short break. When we come back, Game 3 here in the GSL Code S Finals.
I'll be there for you.
Ships of an alien source are approaching from the sky. Radio contact has been attempted but cannot be established. Instructions are to prepare for an attack by an unknown enemy.
지금 저그 6시로 러커드라 볼 거예요. 보세요. 오잖아요. 그럼 스캔 뿌려서 잡을 준비해야 되는데 막아야 되는데요.
잘 맞추는데? 근데 나랑은 좀 안 맞네.
맞추는데 안 맞는다는 건 또 뭐야?
역시 해설은 샤우팅 용준자.
용준이 형. 형 주무시는데 어떻게 해요?
왜?
형 찾아요 지금.
아까 그 선수야? 저 선수 한두 경기를 안 끝나거든.
아직 절반도 안 했어요.
이거 날밤 새겠네. 나 이대빵이 좋은데. 선수가 전병력 한 방으로씩 갑니다. 자, 상대 앞마당 멀티 밀어냈고요. 다음 이제 생산 건물만 장악하면 지지. 그렇지. 이럴 땐 역시 박하니 풀업세이드 탱크에 싹 다 녹아. 이건 뭐죠? 사이렉 스톰.
간만에 날 잡고 하는데 잘 안 되네. 어몽 도와주세요.
자, 오늘은 어떤 명승부가 펼쳐질지 명경기 속에 명언이 터지는 거거든. 지지?
사드론이 뭐야 사드론이. 명언보단 예측이지. 다시 무당에서 가자.
너의 플레이, 상대방의 플레이, 게임의 승패까지 모두 보이는구나. 이거 질 것 같죠? 그러면 제가 흐름 아는데 해설 바꾸겠죠? 제 말 맞죠?
에이 귀 빠지게.
할게요.
그렇다면 MC 용주.
쇼입니다 마니. 상대 선수 프로브까지 동원합니다. 프로브까지 동원. 탱커 1번은 세주가 됐고 1번은 통통통통통통통. 이제는 병력 없어요. 제제.
역시 해설은 예측이지. 역시 해설은 명불허전. 역시 해설.
뭉치면 살고 흩어지면 죽는다. 해설에 의한 해설을 위한 해설의 게임을 시작하자.
예측은 감이 아니라 실력입니다. 나의 실력이 선수의 실력이 된다.
나의 샤우팅, 나의 열정은 선수의 즐거움을 위한 것이다.
이 모든 게임의 주인공이 있고 이 모든 게임은 하나의 이야기지.
또밖에 안 남은 거죠, 그러면? 네, 미국으로 가는데요.
설마 이겨요?
네, 이겨요. 오! 와! 당신만을 위한 위대한 그들의 해설 시작하겠습니다. 스타크래프트 전설의 목소리 팩 전격 출시.
야 나도 한 판만 하자.
제가 여러분 이때까지 4일 남았고 여러분들이 이 영상을 보고 계실 때쯤에는 열심히 이제 훈련소에서 훈련을 받고 있을 것 같은데 근데 이게 훈련소 4일 남았는데 뭔 필요해요. 마지막까지도 좀 섭섭하네요. 네, 조성호나 방평호는 제가 해설을 처음 하는 시점부터 이 선수들 너무 잘한다, 결승 갈 수 있다 막 이런 얘기를 하던 친구들인데 조성호 선수가 14살 때 까까머리를 하고 피부는 까매서 정말 작은 손으로 퍼리시 매치 준프로 게이머를 획득하는 장면을 저는 그 현장에서 봤거든요. 그때 참 자괴감이 굉장히 많이 들었으나 이렇게 굉장한 선수 성장하는 걸 보니 너무 대견하고, 박영호 선수도 슬레이어즈 숙소에 처음 들어와서 배를 툭 따놓고 있을 때부터 봐왔거든요. 그만큼 양 선수 모두 애기 시절, 정말 어린 시절부터 봐왔는데 꾸준한 노력을 통해서 이렇게 성장한 걸 보게 됐을 때 프로게이머 선배라면 선배로서 또는 형으로서 그리고 해설을 하는 관계자의 입장으로서 참 대견스럽다라는 생각이 너무 들고 기특하다라는 얘기를 양 선수에게 모두 하고 싶습니다. 이 선수는 좀 많은 프로토스들이 하는 플레이와는 약간은 조금 다른 엇박자 위주의, 이때 찌르면 저그가 약할 것이다 라는 걸 자신의 감각적으로 좀 아는 것 같아요. 이건 연습량으로 느꼈다라기보다는 게임을 하면서 자연스럽게 알게 된 개념들, 그런 부분들이 조성호 선수에게 좀 많이 배겨 있는 것 같습니다. 그래서 그런 모습들이 저그전 스페셜리스트라는 생각이 들고요. 박영호 선수가 시대가 선택한 것도 있겠지만 시대의 흐름을 역행한다라는 느낌도 많이 받았거든요. 최근에 프로토스들이 저그를 상대로 정말 여러 가지 다양한 심리전들만 꺼내들면서 이기고 있을 때 박영호만이 그거를 거스르고 있기 때문에 그 기세가 결승까지 이어진다면 참 역대급 적부전 결승이 나오지 않을까 하는 생각도 저는 하고 있습니다. 일단 제 예상은 조성호 선수가 조금 더 유리하다고 생각을 해요. 혼자서 준비하는 것도 분명히 자신의 노력이 있기 때문에 가능한 부분들도 있겠지만 혼자서는 좀 안 되는 부분이 분명 있고 그런 부분들을 팀원들이 케어해 줄 거란 말이에요. 특히나 같은 팀에 김유진이 있고 장현우가 있다 보니까 조금 더 짜임새 있는 플레이를 준비해 올 것 같은 조성호 선수가 약간은 더 유리해 보입니다. 이번에 처음 결승으로 올라가게 된 박영호 선수와 조성호 선수, 너네가 결승전에서 보여줄 역대급 경기력, 정말 완벽한 준비성은 형이 군대 가는 건 기억도 안 날 정도로 퍼펙트할 거라고 생각한다. 누가 이기던지 그 상황을 즐겼으면 좋겠고 우승하는 선수는 축하한다는 말을, 또 준우승하는 선수에게는 고생했다는 위로의 말을 해주고 싶네요. 그리고 처음으로 이제 GSL 결승 무대 해설로 데뷔를 하게 되는 우리 태양 선수, 이 3명 모두 파이팅 했으면 좋겠습니다. 형이 너무 미안하니까 훈련소 갔다 와서 밥 살게. 파이팅.
Code S, the final. (2019) Mountain Dew GSL Season 2 Code S Renaissance Finals.
It continues on. We're tied up 1-1 right now. Our next map will be King's Cove. We saw Dark win in a pretty technical takedown as we were entering into late game in a PvZ. Unusual techs used there, but a really great attack at the very end from Dark to take out the key units, ultimately forcing Trap to turn around, retreat, and then get finished off. In Game 2, Dark attempted to take the initiative with a proxied hatch, well, a hatch inside where the natural base Nexus is supposed to go. But Trap reacted so gracefully, so perfectly, completely denied the follow-up attack from Dark, which was supposed to be the killing blow. Dark is knocked out of orbit with really no good plan, tries to drone up. Trap's counterattack comes in there, closes out, and kills him off.
And now we go into set 3. King's Cove, this is where we see the longest PvZs out of the map pool. Are we going to see a big macro game? It's very hard to kill your opponent early on. We're going to have to see what these guys do if the game goes longer.
Sometimes the craziest builds, though, are best on these macro maps because they're so unexpected. So get ready for anything. Game 3 with Trap versus Dark has loaded up. The finals moves on.
Jin Air Green Wings Trap. Gosu Crew Dark.
It's a little bit hard to predict what we're going to end up seeing here. Dart. Trap.
Whoa.
Dart. Oh, he did that thing where you can switch it around and it looks like different words and letters.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, it's like a Dan Brown book all on a poster.
So we've got oh, hold on a second. We got a forge coming down.
Whoa. You were saying that these are the best maps to do things like this on Tasteless.
Well, it's just not what you expect to have coming here. This is the probe coming in, and we need to expect to see a pylon pretty quickly here. But where?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because, the forge is about to finish up here. This is going to be one that's going to start a little bit later, but Zerg might have discounted it as a possibility. Here we go. He needs to plug each of these holes perfectly.
And he does it. Okay. We don't have a second probe on the way. It's important to mention.
Yes. Well, I think what you do is you want to cancel one of the last pylons and then try to run back out. You plug that with the cannon like that. And so he's got the cannons coming out now.
Wow,
now,
the hatchery does finish, so...
Yeah, so Dark is going to try to hold his ground. He doesn't cancel and relocate. He needs to have something to spot on the high ground. I guess he is just going to use that one probe. This is like really dicey because, it's just one probe. Having a second one, it makes a huge difference as far as getting up there in time.
Yeah. Well, it gives some room for error. Here we don't have as much.
Yeah,
okay,
so we really want to watch that probe a lot.
Yeah, this is basically a Haas build, what we're looking at here. It's going to go ahead and get an Immortal and get a Prism out immediately, make a bunch of shield batteries and all that. The shield batteries will take a little bit to put down because the hatchery did finish. A lot of times the hatchery will just cancel, and you'll be able to make whatever you want. Here, he's got what he's got till the creep's gone.
Yeah, there might be there might be some method to that madness, Artos. It's just not making that terrain buildable with the creep.
Well, possibly.
It feels funny to me, but maybe. Let's see here. The Immortals started here. Of course, the shield battery is not going to last very long.
Yeah, that's a reasonably big kill.
Yeah, that does not give the Immortal the same kind of staying power. Is the Immortal stuck in there? Am I seeing this correctly?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
It is going to be stuck in there.
I guess he wants to have the pylon killed. But, he could have that just target the Robo, like we're seeing here.
I feel like he should be targeting the Robo.
I think that you actually want to...
Okay, I think he actually misplaced a little bit at the beginning. This
doesn't look right. This looks like the bungled rush here.
Yes.
Look, because now the Immortal can't get out, and even if it wants to walk out and the pylon's killed, right?
Well, this is bad news for Trap, I would say. Like, he's killed the hatchery at the cannon rush. The build in general is very, very strong.
Oh, my God.
But this isn't how it was supposed to go, is it?
No.
Normally by now there's a Prism juggling it and killing off 2 Queens, 6 Slings, and 2 Ravagers, And
it seems like there's a setup coming here from Dark to pop the entrance with Ling Baneling. He's just going to have enough to hold off the Immortal Warp Prism. I guess, sorry, there's no Warp Prism. Immortal here, I should say. And meanwhile, there's going to be an attack over here at the entrance of Trap Space. And this looks to be going in the direction of a failure for Trap.
Yeah, it seems like he is, kind of messed up sufficiently here. I feel like part of it was that creep expanding so quickly. It's kind of a funny place to place the Robo, and the instant spines really helped out from Dark. Dark has been pretty decisive about what he wanted to do this whole time as well.
Okay, and from here, it's not the greatest number of Lings and Banes, but there's really not very much to defend back at home.
Yeah, pretty hard to break through a Stalker with those units, but he has this cannon up. Oh my God.
Yeah. That, I think, should be it over here. There's nothing to go back and save this. Again, no Warp Prism because of the way the build ended up panning out.
Oh, he needs the Oracle!
Oh!
It didn't come out.
No.
That's it.
And you can't even get probes down here to make a pylon now.
He had to have the Oracle finish. I'm so surprised he pulled the probes back at all.
GG. Dark takes game 3. Easy peasy.
That was, man, I tell you, a good hold by Dark. It doesn't seem like it was perfectly executed by Trap.
Right.
He did not send a second probe. He did not get any sort of high ground vision. He did not see what was coming. He was completely locked in with his Immortal. His Robo was within distance of the spines on the high ground. Of course, a big part of that would be the probe being kind of stuck back there with it. And then also the hatchery finished. A lot of times you cancel a hatchery and then you can build the Robo anywhere you want. But with that creep there, the Robo timing is more important than the placement.
Now, I got to point out, Trap had a little bit of an embarrassed smile on his face when we showed him on camera there because that was a series of consecutive failures back there. I mean, of course, I think he was probably caught off guard by the creep, you know, when there's all that creep there, as you said, you can't really build anything there. But then the Immortal was actually stuck inside the wall in. So it's like, well, what are you doing now? And then he sort of had to wait for the spine crawlers in the process of organically stopping this rush to open up the Immortal to come out to essentially do nothing. There's in fact even some laughter over here with the rest of the teammates.
Well,
as I think everybody saw what went wrong back there. And, you know, I'll tell you what, Trap takes this loss on the chin. We've seen a lot of other players, when they screw up builds, look a lot worse.
Well, if this was Mini from Brood War, man, there would be a broken keyboard right now probably. But yeah, that was a flub from Trap. But you know what? Dark keeps his cool, keeps his composure, and knocks him out. So we go into set 4, our only 4-player map in Cobalt. Of course, you don't know where your opponent's spawning here. Will we see a 12 pool? I don't know. I don't
know what to expect.
It's a big range of what we could see.
Okay, Cobalt has loaded up. Game 4 between Trap and Dark starts now. Like right now.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Gosu Crew. Dark.
See how quickly they scout each other. What are these opening builds going to look like? It looks all pretty normal right now.
Yeah.
Trap is going to be scouting Dark in last position. Dark is not doing anything cheeky. Last time we saw him play here, he did go for a 12 pool, which was kind of funny.
Quite the unexpected. So, you know, we've had mostly, by the way, this has been a great audience tonight here. Completely packed in our studio. So, you know, we have had occasionally, especially if you're in a 4-player map and you both spawn hugging one side of the map or hugging the top or the bottom. Sometimes we've seen hidden locations taken advantage of here. Since this map is so big and 4-player maps are uncommon for us here in the GSL, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I want to just put that out there in case it does, because it's been a factor in several major games, including upsets here in the season of GSL.
Yeah. I think for this matchup, it might be a little bit less likely. We have a lot of sharp timings here. Obviously, the Warp Prism can wreak havoc on a base that's far away, and likewise, Zerglings are pretty cheap to scout around. So I feel like we're slightly more likely to see it more straight up, whereas, you know, like TVP, for instance, we've seen a lot of hidden bases on this map.
As the Adept comes out, we're waiting to see what sort of tech we want to have here. Obviously, the Stargate started.
Yeah.
For Zerg, is Dark going to do anything, or is he going to try to just play a much, much more passive game this time around? Oh, wow. Happy birthday. Well, it's coming along so far.
Yeah, it's doing fine, but I think the series is pretty good so far. Like, that was a flubbed all-in, right? A club push. Obviously, Dark's was not the greatest either, so we've seen a couple of cheesy all-in builds from each side getting held. And we're reverting back to something a little bit more normal here from Trap with that Stargate opener. Whereas with Dark, this is a 2-base layer.
Yes. So we might be having some Nidus play coming up here.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
He's liked using those Niduses before. Of course, you want to see if the Adepts can actually scout this.
Yeah, there are all sorts of possibilities. Like, I don't think Spire is something that could ever happen here.
Probably not.
Like, I mean, I guess we could see some sort of weird Swarm Host type play, but now that he scouts that this is a Stargate, I think that this is going to dictate heavily what Dark has planned.
The layer rapidly approaching completion here. Everything, and in moments like this, a lot of times comes down to who can spot what and who can think fast on their feet. Yeah, we had game 1 be a little bit more standard, and so far we've had a lot of offshoot builds, kind of a build you use just once in a tournament. And we are passing out burgers and Mountain Dew. Or, yeah.
So our CEO.
Yes, the CEO's paying for it.
Mr. Che beside him. This is the greatest place to work in the world, in case you were wondering.
Yes, yes.
I've only worked here in a retail store, but
yeah,
this one is definitely topping.
Yeah. So the Roach Warren's coming down now.
Yeah.
Infestation Pit as well.
The Infestation Pit is what I'm very interested in.
This is
here.
exciting. Well, Dark's shown a lot of different abnormal Zerg approaches here.
What do we see with this Infestation Pit? Wasn't it Dark who did the really weird Neural Rush in one game? We were excited about, and then it just did nothing, and he died.
Yeah, and apparently, I think it's because he forgot Burrow, I heard.
Oh, that's
that he
I
didn't
believe
have
you're
Burrow
right
for it.
about that. Maybe he's hatching that build out again. I'm not sure. Not sure
Could
what
be.
we're going to see.
You know, the problem with some of the builds like that is you really got to be careful when you bring them out, because once people become cognizant of this build being in your wheelhouse, it can become a problem.
Sure.
People can just try to blind counter it. And there's the Nidus network coming down here as well.
Yeah, that leads me to believe that this is Swarm Host. Yeah, there it is. This is, as far as 2-base layer builds go, this is the most common one, so it should be on Trap's radar already. Well,
one of the things with the Nidus network coming out here is that if you start to get momentum as the Locusts come in, it can be very hard to get control of the game again as Protoss. You know, if you start to lose some key structures and they start to rinse and repeat with the Locusts coming out, and especially if they start to be able to pop up in various locations, by the way,
Sees what's
spotted, then it can be tough. So we want to pay especially good attention to the early game here and see who spots what and how this is all handled. Because right now, see, the Overseer would make you think it might be coming out somewhere else, but it's in fact just over here to the right.
Well, the Archon's going to be useful at least, right? You can hit those, oh my god, he brings Queens with it!
Yeah, unfortunately the Archon's doing some damage to those Queens.
I like that. That was a smart move to try to bring that over, but to bring the Queens to stop the Archon drop and stop Stargate units, beautifully done. All right, has a Stasis Ward here. Look at this, he actually changes where he's going to.
Very smart.
Yeah. But so far, like, has any real damage been dealt? No.
No. I mean, the Gateway is like the most expendable building right now.
And it doesn't kill it at all, so he has to wait for another one. Of course, he's got a big area that he can launch these Locusts into.
It seems like Zerg might be trying to set up an outpost over here, and so this is a small window of time when Trap can try to come in here and really disrupt this. This may force the Locusts to be used defensively. Okay, brilliantly done. And now Dark ditches the spot. A counterattack is denied there by the Stasis Ward. Both of them shut down.
Oh, beautiful hold so far here from Trap, but Dark will not be denied. He's coming out another side. That is a lot of Locusts being sent towards the natural.
Here they come now again.
He lands one. He's so smart. He's too smart.
And now he's going to try to target down the Nexus. Now, there's a lot of defense over there. I'm sorry, he's not targeting down the Nexus. He did just haven't clicked on that initially. And so that's been held off.
Okay, well, these, like, the Stasis Ward, then the counterplay instantaneously to the Stasis Ward. We are watching two players at the peak of their game right now.
Whoa, crazy counterattack here. Going to come up. Now, there might be too much attention focused here on trying to hit the Protoss' base. That might take too long, whereas this counterattack could just do so much damage. One Oracle hitting this Nidus network over here, halfway done.
Yeah, he knows he has to keep these back home for his defense right now. As soon as he launches these Locusts, we should see the Protoss army turn around. He sees them all there. Just a few Locusts coming out.
Not sending all.
Yeah. That is exactly the trick right there. If you send all, he runs away and comes right back and busts you. He sends a whole bunch more. He has all those spines coming up as well.
But within this process, he's given up his third base. The two-base Zerg does not have a lot of sustainability in a long game like this would end up being, because it would be held off. So right now we have Dark needing to come across the map and do something else. He's continued to oscillate between his position adjacent to the main and the one north of the natural. But now we have, once again, Protoss coming in to try to bait out the Locust. Is this an overextension?
Yeah, well, you know what? He's killing through all the Roaches and Ravagers right now. The Queen's doing their best to hold him off, but only a few Locusts come out with that first wave. Okay, here comes the rest now. This is when Trap needs to run.
Okay, he's coming in here now. We have those Locusts. Dark finally showing his teeth, but I guess there's just enough splash damage that suddenly Dark's configuration is going to fall apart here. I mean, the Locusts are trapped. I guess they might be going into the Nidus to go somewhere else, but then the Zerg would end up losing his natural expansion, and that's not going to knock him out of this game.
Yeah, this is not looking very good right now.
GG!
Wow. All right.
2-2.
Very, very sharp kill there from Trap. Really utilizing the Storm Host against Dark. I thought that Dark was going to be able to hold on a little bit longer with that many Locusts, but Trap just nailing it there. What great defense as well. Very, very impressive.
It was really interesting to see Trap not flinch as he got up to the natural and saw that the Locust had not turned around. You could see Dark was basically holding the Locust in, saying, okay. And then he tried to show a little bit, and Trap shook his head, said, nope, it's not enough. Continued to press in there. As the Locusts were eliminated and Dark had to wait for them to reload, Trap intelligently so goes over there and takes out the free third base. And now we are once again to an even match.
Yes, we are 2-2. That means we go to at least game number 6. Very exciting stuff. We've already seen a lot of the crazy maps come out here. We've seen Cobalt and Thunderbird, and we've seen Turbo Cruise, which means that our last maps are kind of the more normal maps, right? New Repugnancy, and then we're going to have Cyber Forest and Kairos Junction as our last 3 maps.
What a series this has been. We've only had one game that's gone remotely standard here, and that was game 1, where it seemed like Trap was playing pretty well, but then Dark did have a very good hold in Trap's attack. But everything else has been some player doing something insane.
Yeah, so you're right. Game 1 was the most normal, and then whoever does something crazy loses.
Yeah, none of the rushes have worked. That's what's funny about this. Usually it's a 50-50 or something like that, but yeah. Now I do wonder, how much more of a obtuse game does Dark really want to play here? Because I mean, his
good question.
Yeah, I mean, a rush. There always is the double-edged sword because it doesn't tend to have a lot of longevity. But Trap played a lot more unusually than I expected as well.
Well, I really expected all the Stargate play, but some of these cheeses that he didn't work out. We'll see if he continues. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, game number 5.
여기 생애 첫 GSL 결승전에 진출하며 프로토스의 새로운 르네상스를 연 선수가 있습니다. 그리고 생애 첫 GSL 결승 진출과 동시에 프로토스의 돌풍에 홀로 맞서며 적의 새로운 도약을 꿈꾸는 선수도 있죠. 자, 오늘은 사상 첫 GSL 우승에 도전하는 동시에 7시즌 만에 GSL에서 테란 연방을 몰아내며 결승에 오른 프로토스와 저그 두 종족을 대표하는 두 선수의 활약상을 모아봤습니다. 그린윙스의 함정 카드 트랩 조성우 선수, 그리고 분단 그 자체 다크 박영우 선수의 이야기 지금 만나보시죠. 바야흐로 2017 GSL 시즌2 고병재 우승 이후 무려 6시즌 동안 계속된 GSL 테란 강점기와 조성주 왕조.
있다. 많다. 빨리 끝내고 싶었어. 한 거 맞아요.
귀찮아서 하는 전진 병행에 쥐어 터지는 저그와 프로토스. 아무튼 테란의 부흥이 계속되던 GSL, 팀원이자 경쟁자인 조성주 선수의 우승을 매번 관객석에서 지켜봐야만 했던 조성호. 더 이상의 결승 직관은 없다.
4강 진출을 이뤄냈습니다. 제4강 진출.
새롭게 각오를 다지며 결국 생애 첫 GSL 4강까지 진출한 조성호. 하지만 준결승 상대는 GSL 3회 연속 우승을 기록 중이던 마루 조성주 싶을 정도로
근데
압도적이에요.
기록이 조성주 선수를 말해주고 있습니다.
자이반 타이반 결국 동물의 직관 티켓을 얻게 된 조성호입니다. 과연 조성호는 결승 프로 직관러의 삶을 탈출할 수 있을지 잠시 후에 계속됩니다. 이어서 황제가 낳고 괴물이 키운 분단 그 자체 저그 박영우 선수입니다. 호쾌한 경기력, 거기다 신인답지 않은 패기를 가졌지만 정작 개인리그 우승과는 인연이 없었던 박영우. 캐스파컵 준우승 2회, 크로스파이널 블리즈컨에 이어 WESG 슈퍼 토너먼트까지 준우승.
딴 돈의 반만 가져가.
우승 상금의 반만 가져가는 준우승 콜렉터 명품 조연 박영우. 게다가 첫 GSL 코드 S 진출 이후 3년간 이어진 GSL 16강 징크스. 이번엔 기필코 GSL 우승 트로피를 들겠다는 각오로 도전한 2019 GSL 시즌1. 무서운 기세로 4강까지 진출한 분단 그 자체.
상대원으로 들어가 4강 진출 이뤄냈습니다.
하지만 준결승 상대는 과거 팀 동료이자 최근 국방부 버프까지 받은 김도우 선수입니다. 프로토스 그 자체와 분단 그 자체의 대결로 화제를 모았던 4강전. 하지만 시즌1 시나리오에서도 역시 4대3. 또 한 번 주연 아닌 명품 조연으로 남으며 생애 첫 GSL 결승 진출의 꿈은 어둠 속으로 사라지고 마는데 과연 그는 GSL에서 명품 조연이 아닌 주연이 될 수 있을지. 박영우의 2019 GSL 시즌2 활약상 잠시 후에 계속됩니다. 다시 진에어 그린윙스의 조성우 선수입니다. 명품 조연으로 고통받고 있던 박영우만큼 늘 다른 팀원들에 비해 주목받지 못했던 조성우. 진에어 최고의 선수는 누구? 마루. 그럼 진에어 최고의 프로토스는 누구? SOS. 아무튼 자신만의 GSL 랩소디를 써내려가기 위해 32강에서 만난 저그의 퀸 스칼렛부터 무너뜨린 저그전 스페셜리스트 조성우 선수. 게다가 GSL에서 매번 조성우의 발목을 잡은 김준호를 32강에 이어 16강에서까지 투명화시킨 것은 물론 취재! 두 번째 세트까지 조성우가 가져가면서 승자전으로 갑니다.
저희 멕시코에서는 테란이 우승하는 걸 볼 수 없어요. 토스 아니면 저그죠. 토스는 리얼 사기입니다.
16강전부터 진에어 그린윙스 유일 생존자로 활약.
어휴, 16강은 올라와야지, 스마트라. 그리고 조성주, 넌 조성이란 이름을 쓸 자격이 없다. 넌 앞으로 그냥 주다.
이렇게 태징징의 끝판왕 이신영 선수를 만나게 되는데 악성 태징징을 만난 것도 하나는데 팀 동료였던 아니 이신영 선수는
형도 만년 연두기 생활을 할 뻔했는데
조성우 선수를 그저 연습 도와주는 기계로만 기억할 뿐. 테란의 독재자 이신영 선수와 조성우 선수의 맞대결 잠시 후에 계속됩니다. 다시 박영우 선수입니다. 명품 조연에서 최고의 주연으로 거듭나기 위해 2019 GSL 시즌2의 도전장을 던진 박영우. 32강 토스 없는 꽃길만 걸으며 누구보다 빠르게 남들과는 다르게 16강에 안착.
차이 많이 벌어졌고 세기를 받고 있습니다.
네,
주요 건물 깨요. 이게 추가 병력 뒷심이 없거든요, 테란이.
이신영의 극한의 컨트롤이 나오려면 불곰이 베이스여야
저도 이 프로토스 시대에서 정말 잘하고 좋은 경기를 드리고 싶은데 밸런스가 어쩔 수 없네요.
단순한 생존이 아닌 대프로토스 시대에서 저징징을 외친 저그의 독립투사 박영우.
이러고 있으면 어떡해요? 내가 결승에서 얼마나 기다렸는데 돌아온다고 약속했잖아요.
쓰러진 동료 저그 어윤수를 뒤로 한 채 최후의 저그 깃발을 휘날려야 하는 박영우. 과연 대프로토스의 시대에서 저그 특유의 끈질긴 생명력으로 살아남을 것인지 잠시 후에 확인해 보겠습니다. 다시 조성우 선수입니다. 8강전에서 만난 테란의 독재자 이신영.
꽤 무너지고 있죠.
그렇습니다. 불펜 하나.
건설봇을 동원하긴 하지만 정말 어렵게 모은 건설봇이거든요.
타고 있어요. GSL.
다시는 조성호를 무시하지 마라.
하지만 4강에서 만난 건 프로토스 그 자체. 2019년 프로토스전 9전 9승. 그야말로 압도적인 힘을 자랑하는 김도우 선수. 산전수전, 공중전까지 다 겪어가며 펼쳐진 극한의 푸프전. 결국 김도우를 상대로 승리를 거둔 조성호. 이제 우승까지 남은 건 단 한 걸음. 데뷔 10여 년 만에 첫 GSL 결승에 진출한 조성호 선수. 생애 첫 결승을 넘어 우승을 기록할 수 있을까요? 조성호 선수의 2019 GSL 시즌2 결승전 결말. 잠시 후 직접 확인하시기 바랍니다. 다시 8강전에 진출한 박영우 선수입니다. 어윤수의 탈락으로 8강 최후의 저그가 된 박영우. 1세트 10분 컷. 2세트 8분 컷.
저그의 하늘 이번 경기로
저그 군단의 한을 담은 춤사위로 승리를 자축한 박영우 선수의 8강전. 3세트 도합 30분도 채 되지 않는 시간에 준결승 진출 티켓을 얻은 박영우. 게다가 프로토스의 새로운 바람을 몰고 온 남기웅 선수마저 4강에서 꺾은 박영우.
항상 꿈꿔오던 GSL 결승전 대결. 드디어 박영우 선수가 갑니다.
시대가 박영우 선수를 선택했습니다.
이제 최후의 전쟁만이 남았다. 스타투 전문 프로덕션 GSL이 야심차게 준비한 2019 GSL 시즌2 결승전. 조연에서 명품 주연으로 거듭난 조성호와 박영우의 대결. 프로토스와 저그의 자존심을 건 최후의 르네상스에 잠시 후 탄생할 2019 GSL 시즌2 챔피언을 직접 확인해 보시길 바랍니다.
Code S, the final. Mountain Dew GSL.
What's up? We're back here at the GSL Code S Finals. It's tied up 2-2. We will be having no more breaks as we go forward here in our possibly 2, possibly 3 games. The next map will be New Repugnancy.
All right. Are we going to see a game where both players play quote-unquote normally? Or is this one-sided craziness going to continue onwards?
I don't know. Normally, to win a best of 7, you do need to bring both a very refined, conservative macro style, but you also need to mix it up. And we've seen both players go for mix-ups and aggression in the last 3 games, and none of them worked out. So I feel like it would be a natural thing to throttle it back to a macro game, but sometimes the expected play is not the right one either.
Yeah, you could be right about that. New Repugnancy is set number 5. Whoever wins this is on match point for the last couple maps.
That's right.
That is important.
Yeah, very important map here, set 5. And that is now loading up. Both of these players in their first GSL Code S Finals with so many upsets. These are the last 2 who remain. Game 5 starts now as Trap vs. Dark continues on.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Gosu Crew. Dark.
Now we wait. Craziness.
Again, completely packed in here.
That is the cutest thing ever.
I love that. The little probes are so cute.
Yeah. The writing was the best part,
yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a gate coming down here on the low ground. Things, at least for the time being, are...
It's a scoutless fast expansion here from Trap.
Looking fine. Nothing crazy.
Or Prism dropped me off from Texas. Probably picked you up while it was over Japan, though.
Nice. That's really good, Artosis. I like that side, too.
Both players
losing classic wins.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
Yeah.
They go into Game 7, and suddenly, both of them at the same time scout a Twilight that doesn't belong to either of them on the map, and then Classic Adepts shade into both bases.
The WWE moment is there's actually a third player in the game. Now,
look it up in the rules. Tesos did say whoever wins this game wins the GSL.
That's right. In another twist, our observer Shine has began playing his own game as well.
Okay, so it's actually a Twilight first?
Okay, a different type of tech here. We've seen Trap lean more towards Stargate openings, which is a little bit older, but it seems like he's brought it back into style.
Yeah, I would guess that this is going to be a DT-based Archon drop, but we'll see. Yeah, the Robo comes up. So it looks like that's what it's going to be, which is still a pretty standard build. I would say that generally you hit a timing attack off of it. You don't always go into a super long macro game off that.
By the way, those are Trap's parents in the audience now. Yeah, you're right. That Robo's coming along. Oh, and I was just informed that's Dark's mother. Thought it might be, but I gotta wait until they tell me just to make sure. He's making all sorts of stuff up.
Like, that's not Dark's
Next
mother.
shot. These are all Trap's cousins.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dark Shrine coming down.
Okay, so DT-based Archon drop. We'll see how he does with this one. Somewhat old build, but definitely has a lot of power to it still. Dark just getting up into his lair in 3 bases.
And again, just as a bigger theme here, all rushes have failed. And frankly, there were moments where it seemed like Trap should have been winning the game, game 1 where he lost, but did not quite execute a good push. And with really good finesse, Dark ended up winning that game.
Well, Dark right now, just playing very standard as well. He doesn't know yet exactly what this is. You have to play very carefully from here. He sees the Prism coming out.
There have been moments where people have toyed around with like hallucinations that come out to try to fake out positioning, but this is the real deal, and he's comfortable showing that now as the Adept moves further out on the map.
Like that he's taking the time to clear out the circling. You got to keep your opponent in the dark as much as possible. 3 DTs being warped in. He did not make the 4th gateway, I don't believe. So that's really, really tricky.
So this is an intended DT blindside into an Archon drop. Now we have a Spore over here, but there's not quite that much to defend, and he's actually gone around this.
Look how quick he is. My God.
Can he block this in?
Oh,
I don't think the Warp
God.
Prism can save this. Oh, what am I talking about? It's a Warp Prism. Sorry, everybody. This is Starcraft 2. But the DT does get into the main.
And this DT's doing all right, and he didn't lose the other 2. So this is still quality stuff.
And he even recalls it out. So, I mean, really no losses there. Not a tremendous amount of damage.
No, not too much. And it was a move, you know, it's the type of move that can get you so ahead that you just win the game from there.
Right.
So, not a bad choice. Doesn't actually turn into an Archon drop as of yet. The other DT, I believe, is at home right now, so needs to send that up. The single Archon coming out.
Yeah. But, which is fine. I mean, you could still do damage and pull it away. It's not bad.
Staying active is worthwhile.
There's Immortals coming down, a Nexus, and a Forge here as well. It seems like Dark is fairly prepared, though, for the Archon drop, especially when there's only one Archon. I mean, there's certainly much less on the ground that you can commit to.
It's really not all that scary when it's a single Archon. Even when it's 2 nowadays, everyone is so good at defending it.
It was much tougher to hold off early on in Legacy when it was just like, it was just such a new thing and people had to adjust so dramatically to it. But now I think it's very manageable. But of course, still worth trying. Wow, and that Overseer, it's going to get away, right? Yeah.
Gets right out of there. And he gets a full scout. He sees the Forge and everything, so I think he has a very good idea of exactly what's going on right now. And that means that he can play a longer game. They're both just kind of, well, I like to call it droning up, but probing up as well. A few more roaches being made. I don't know that he's going to have any real opportunity for damage here. Well, he's making roaches, so he thinks there is going to be.
Yeah.
Dark
and he's also thrown down a Nidus.
Oh.
Yeah, the timing of this Nidus, granted it is as the third base is being birthed, like, I don't... Is it going to be more of a positional play? I mean, thematically with Nidus, we've seen that people try to use them to pop them up one place. The Protoss will recall, you pop a Nidus up somewhere else, and eventually there's an opening here. Yeah. Somewhere there's a window left opening, and you end up coming in there and doing a lot of damage.
Well, he doesn't have a ton of Immortals yet, so there is maybe still a window for this. I believe that Overseer is in the back of the main, so that's definitely something that we have to watch here. Okay, there goes the Nidus.
Coming right there. It's spotted by a Stalker. A small number of roaches over here to draw the attention, draw the screen away. Meanwhile, roaches, oh wow, and a really, really aggressive move. Dives in here. So already before the Nidus is finished, we have attacks happening at least 2 different fronts.
Oh my God, he actually didn't do anything against this Nidus. I think he actually didn't see it because of all the pressure everywhere, but 10 probes going down right now. More and more units coming in. The Prism coming up to try to save the day. He's going after that Overseer as well. That means that Dark Templars can be used here.
We don't have any Queens popping out over in this location. 12 probes already killed off.
Yeah, this is still very doable, though, for Trap. This is not critical damage. He's not dead. 12 probes is a solid start. But now that he knows that it's here, that's a big part of defending it.
Okay, so we have Protoss living through that, of course, but where will the next attack be? I mean, one thing that you really can't do in moments when there's a huge Nidus threat is try to move out. Because even if you can recall back at home, the travel time is sort of wasted. The recall is in some ways wasted. And Zerg is able, and you can see this is already happening here. A 4th base is being taken out. Smart move by Trap, though, to send the Dark Templar out here to try to get an idea of what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd time to see a DT run in, but if you just right-click it, sometimes it's going to walk past everything.
Yeah, especially when pressure is this high. One of the things about that attack we saw back there, sometimes it's not just about, you know, whether or not your opponent can watch the mini-map, but can you draw their screen away to the wrong part? That's such a big factor in RTS. And I think having the roaches hit at the 3rd and then the surprise run-in, which, by the way, was pretty risky. I mean, he could have gotten boxed and then lost all those. And then the Nidus finishing allowed Dark to do so much damage in so many different locations, and he didn't overcommit either.
You know, I'm very interested right now as well. The fact that he's gone for bro and bro movement. This, he's going to send in a small group of roaches to try to snipe some probes over here, draw attention as well. Some cannons are being warped in. That one in the natural definitely helping a lot.
Yeah. In fact, actually, Trap is basically ready for everything. The role for Trap right now is just to continue to power up and be ready for surprise attacks. And he's clearly done this in all three of the positions he controls. We have the Nidus network starting. There is an attack force ready right here to try to go up into the third base.
Look at this. The army is so in a position for Trap down at the bottom. Some force fields go down. Tons of biles being thrown out by these 14 Ravagers.
In this boxy location, it's very difficult to dodge biles over here.
His prism's not there either. It's hard to juggle anything out. The biles continue to land.
It looks like the Nidus was stopped in the main, but the real threat now is this attack over here with the Nidus coming behind it.
Oh my god, he's got to get more units over here. Okay, here comes the prism now. It has a couple of mortals in it, so that is absolutely going to help on chasing this back.
Okay, but as the Nidus finishes, reinforcements will pop out, and I think this tug of war might be going back to Circus. Second Nidus is coming up here, immediately shot down.
Oh my gosh, there are just so many roaches and Ravagers. The Queen's coming up as well. Transfusion's going to be thrown down.
Oh, great shots on the probes, identifying that the Warp Prism could pick up the Immortals here.
This is a lot of Immortals, though, and if he can continually jug them and keep them near those shield batteries, maybe he can actually end up holding this off. A lot of Immortals still left alive right now.
It seems like he's kept all these Immortals alive enough. I mean, the Immortal is the natural enemy of the Roach, but there's so many Roaches coming out so quickly as the Warp Prism is getting pushed further and further away as the energy from the batteries drains more and more.
Oh, beautiful biles go down on that Archon. So little health. The probes now being pulled to attack as well. A bile hits and kills one of those Immortals. 4 are still left over, though. 3 are still left over, though. 2 are still left over, though.
He's coming forward now, but this army is getting very low. The 2 Immortals remaining have a lot of HP and have a lot of shields as well.
Yeah, they are doing a number on these. Is this attack over? Dark says no. 18 more roaches on that production tab. Some more popping out. Ooh,
this is a great
Nidus.
position here. The Immortals, low in numbers, cannot defend both locations. And so he may try to seesaw this attention back over into the main base. However, I think a DT, will be able to kill that off before it's really able to activate.
Now, during all this, there is a 4th for Dark. He's not super high on drones, but 68 is a very healthy number. Oh my god, the biles starting to hit a nice split there. The barrel movement! A clutch play here from Dark, and he is starting to eliminate every powerful unit.
And we're seeing a lot of that endgame functionality with that as force fields can no longer be utilized with a Roach number that's this high. They continue to just surface right underneath the Immortals, surrounding them like this.
Oh, beautiful plays here from Dark. GG! And Dark goes up to 3-2 and match point.
Revenge of the Roaches is what that game's called. Roaches finally beating Immortals. Such an insane game, and I love the attack on the third base, identifying the Warp Prism not being down there. He comes in, and he's able to bile down so many of the Archons, the Immortals, everything in that little area. Normally, a bile is something that, even at sort of average ranks, you can try to move out of the way of. But if you have no surface area to move in, and in fact, your Geyser, the minerals, and your Nexus are sort of in the way, then bile is incredibly difficult to deal with.
Trap's army was actually better than Dark's army. Like, Dark's army wasn't completely terrible. He had a bunch of Ravagers, sure. But the Nidus in the main base, the Roaches being split and bro moved all over the place. I mean, when you look at that, again, masterful play from Dark, a couple small mistakes from Trap that Dark pounces upon immediately.
We had a shot earlier of the Jin Air Green Wings team surrounding Trap and talking to him. Dark was alone for most of that, just sitting there. And here's the thing. We've seen this happen before. We have seen this where it was SOS versus Beyond, and the Jin Air Green Wings players were there together, all giving advice, and Beyond came out on top. We may see history repeat itself now.
Okay, we're going to see. Dark has 2 shots to become the champion now. Cyber Forest is set number 6. No idea what we're going to see from these players here. Everything on the line.
Let's not forget, Protoss dominating the season of GSL. But Dark right now is in a lead against Trap, the last surviving Protoss. And we've seen this happen before. In the very first season of GSL, only one Zerg was doing well. His name was Fruit Dealer. We may have that happen again here with Dark a champion unless Trap can turn this around. Game 6 starts now.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Gosu Crew. Dark.
And completely packed studio here.
Yeah.
Some great fans out there cheering so loud for their favorite players. Only half the people here tonight are going to go home happy, Tasteless.
That's right. These games have been a real treat, though, so far. So
very good finals.
To start things off, control play here, putting the pylon to dictate where Dark can expand. This may or may not lead to anything, as a follow-up move, but Trap, we've seen him do this before in this series.
Dark really wants to put his hand
he actually kept that. Oh!
Very nicely
Slips it in there. He was just out of pylon vision there, so he's trying to fake it. And then, obviously Trap, as he's doing the blocks off there, he's actually trying to get that, to not make the pylon last too long. Totally packed.
I would say standing room only, but that's gone as well.
Yes.
I'm like on the edge of my seat right now, just watching for tech buildings. A lot of gas being mined by Dark right now, isn't it?
That's very true.
No third hatch as of yet.
Keep in mind, he did get to set his hatchery up where he wanted it to be. And a little juke and jive there of the probe. He tricked Trap into thinking the drone had, juke and jive of the drone there. He actually tricked Trap into thinking that the second hatchery had started elsewhere. It did not, and now we have a layer.
2 base layer. Could this be that same type of swarm host play again? Trap, I felt like countered it so well on Cobalt.
Well, you know what? It seems like there's about 3 places you can try to. Let's say he does the Nidus, with Locust again. There's about 3 spots instead of 2 on this map you can do it at. A little bit wider area to try to come in at. But I'm not sure. Normally you don't see that build used more than once, but things are getting so advanced that sometimes the unpredictable is actually.
Well, he's actually making a third hatchery, so I'm not 100% sold either way. There is a Robo coming up, so finally we're seeing a Robo first build here. Likely this will turn into an Immortal push. It's hard to imagine anything else coming out of it. This Adept having a hard time finding his way home.
Oh, gets the kill on the Adept. Very nicely done. We have more links being made here, which makes me a little bit curious.
Overlord drop on the way. Could this be what the fast layer was for? No, a Nidus coming up as well.
I think he's trying to combo it.
Yeah, he's going to pull the trigger here.
And he thinks this might be coming, but somehow this is exactly just not in vision.
Now it's in vision.
Okay, Trap knows what's coming. He sees the drop coming in here. This pylon will be forced to cancel. He has more links ready to attack the front in an area where Trap has plugged that hole in here.
All right. Oh my God, he sealed the front as he came up here, but lots of links hitting the front now as well.
He backs up and decides to attack it again. Now remember, this Nidus network is going to be coming in here in a moment. And this looks like to just be a link flood. An attack on the front with more links here in the main. The army is positioned here in the main to try to defend.
He doesn't see the Nidus. A lot of his attention is being used at the front right now. If that Nidus gets up, it gets much more scary. A lot of links will be coming. There's almost no queens here. That's the only queen.
Oh my God, what a weird game here.
Yeah.
And so he sent all the links that were at the front into the main here. He's going to try to completely flood this area, but you can see already walls are being constructed over here for Trap as well. The links coming forward.
Oh, the probe's going to fight here as well. Look at that shield battery being such a hero at the moment. Units coming up from the low ground, but they get surrounded very quickly. He's got 2 sentries there. He can't afford to lose those right now.
The second Immortal spawns on the outside and is surrounded by those Zerglings. The one lone Immortal over here and in the next to Mineral still alive somehow, but it looks like they will both go down.
Oh my god, has Dark done it? Has he broken through Trap? Trap only has a few probes left over, a couple Zealots trying to hold this off right now.
And the Lings continue to spill in. The Robo is exposed. And if you lose your main, the odds of trying to come back with a natural alone are very, very low.
Yeah, it is a tough one, no doubt about that. A couple of Adepts come up. They're going to push everything back to Queen, keeping that steady damage going, though. The Overlord scouting for whatever may be coming. A lot of Lings coming in, surrounding these Adepts. That is it, GG! And we finally have another Zerg GSL Code S champion.
Unreal. And with very unique play. The audience is cheering. Dark can't believe it. He's been playing in GSL for so long. There were so many moments we thought he would get to a finals and win, but he never got to those finals until now, where he managed to defeat Trap 4-2.
The monkey finally off his back. The first Zerg champion in so many years. The first in Legacy of the Void here at the Code S tournament. Just magnificent.